Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I be, the good doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again, once again. You already know it's gonna be an instant classic in the making. First time to the channel, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you notify. Make sure you do all the good things to make yourself well versed in the good doc's content. All of my good stuff shall be listed in the links in the description area below. Guys, it's about to go down tonight. For real, for real. I was debating on whether I wanted to come on with you guys tonight or make it tomorrow, hence the difference in the schedule. But I felt like there's no better time than the present to address the following topic. But before we get into it, guys, you know how we do. Y'all make sure you drop a like, make sure you caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, most definitely has to have it. Again, if you guys want to do so, but of course, I'm happy and blessed you choose to come through. Spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Now you're on then. Official time check, 8:49 in the PM, Eastern Standard Time, which makes it 7:49 p.m. Central. Of course, we're looking at what? 5:49 for everybody repping out West Coast, and of course, 8:49 in the AM Philippine Standard Time. Wherever you guys are reporting in the world today. Maraming salamat sa lahat, and thank you guys for joining the Good Doc on this live stream today. All right, I need ones, I need thumbs. I need ones, I need thumbs. If I'm coming through loud and clear, no volume issues, I need ones or I need thumbs. Tell me what we're doing tonight, just to make sure that my vocals are coming through loud and clear. Got to do a quick temp check. Got to make sure you guys can hear me, before I go into my thing, and then somebody be like, Doc, you sound like a robot, bro. You're not coming through loud and clear. So give me some ones, give me some thumbs to let me know the Good Doc is coming through loud and clear. I'm getting charged up, ladies and gentlemen. So you know it's gonna be one of those nights. Just give me a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's title. There's a big difference between being classified as a Filipina and actually being a Filipina. I repeat, there is a big difference between being classified as a Filipina and actually being a Filipina. I want to take you guys back probably a few months ago, wherein I was reminded of a video that a YouTuber put out about the ideology behind the fact that women that you date, no matter where you date them, anywhere in the world, are all the same. I.e., it doesn't matter if you're dating a Latin American woman in the United States or dating a Latin American woman in their respective country, they're all the same. And I had to sit back and really contemplate on this one because, on surface level, I would say you can kind of make that judgment, but when you really start to get into it, it becomes very hard for me to agree with that sentiment, which is the reason why I came up with the topic today. Being classified as a Filipina, and my thought process is basically Filipino is your nationality. All right. If somebody asks you to bubble in a circle on one of them sheets to identify yourself nationality wise, I don't know if it's going to be Asian. I don't know if it's going to be Pacific Islander, but if Filipino was an option, you would bubble in the Filipino circle, right? So when I say this, I'm saying it doesn't matter to me that your classification or nationality is Filipina or Filipino in general. That doesn't necessarily make you an actual Filipina. Now that's gonna sound confusing. They're gonna be like, Doc, what do you mean, bro? You mean to tell me that I can bubble in a sheet and it can say that I'm Filipino, but you're gonna sit there and tell me that I'm not Filipino, bro? What in the fuck is you talking about? So glad you asked. I've met a lot of Filipinos that live in the United States. They may identify as Filipino, nationality wise, raise the flag, Filipino pride, but because they grew up in the United States, because they grew up in the American westernized culture, they're not technically Filipino. Yes, by nationality, you are. By culture, you're not. That's the distinction we're trying to make today. By nationality, yes, you are Filipino. Through blood, through pride, through respect, country flag, fellow flagsmen. But if you've never been to the Philippines one time in your life, or you seem to identify more with a Western culture than you do with your own culture, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't really make you actually Filipino, at least in my opinion. Okay. I've known a lot of them that grew up in the United States, go back to the Philippines, and they can't relate. All they've ever known is their life in the United States. Yes, they may look the part, but they don't speak the language. They don't know the culture. They're not interested in trying dried fish. They complain about the smells of things. They look at the Philippines and be like, I didn't know it was this poor. With all due respect, they'll say all kinds of shit, which lets you further realize how distant they are from their own particular culture. Ladies and gentlemen, I've met Filipinos that I am more Filipino than they are. I have met Filipino people wherein this black motherfucker right here is more Filipino than them. I know more about their culture than them. I know more about their food than them. I know more about their customs than them. And the only thing they can say is, yo, man, yo, the Filipino Day Parade is coming. Yo, let's go check it out. Let's go try some lumpia, some shit. Like, bro, come on, man. I said, have you ever actually been to the Philippines yet? And they'd be like, nah, but I want to. Now, respectfully so, there are some reasons why a lot of people can't travel right now or have not been able to travel in the past. You know, it could complicate some visas and things like that. But I kind of feel like your classification as a Filipino and actually being a Filipino are two distinctly different things. Now, when I say that somebody is actually authentically Filipino, in my opinion, you know the culture, you know the background, you know the language, you know where you come from, you know your history, you know everything, you know where you came from, you know that you really do hold that pride for a certain reason. Now, I'm not going to sit there and expect everybody to have that same country pride. That's not what this is about. It's about your classification versus how you identify, or your classification versus how you respectfully utilize your time in knowing and getting to know your particular culture and background. Right? I am African American. Yes, if you ask me, I am Black American. Yes, I probably would tell you that I identify as an African American. I can honestly say that I have yet to go to Africa. I've never been to Africa a day in my life. I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit, but it doesn't mean that I do not want to go. I have my yellow fever shot. I got it all. Doc is ready, but I just haven't been able to make the trip. But when people make comments like, and I'm just saying this to be, just to kind of lay the foundation a little bit. But when you guys are people who will say some ignorant shit like, yo, you need to go back to Africa. I said, bruh, I ain't never been there. So how the fuck I'm gonna go back to a place I ain't never been? And I kind of use that as a baseline to kind of chop their ass in the throat. But it's the truth. I can't say that I identify and I am well versed in my own cultural background in that regard. Yes, I know about it. Yes, I know about my ancestry. Yes, I know about my history. I follow my bloodline. I did it all. But I can't honestly say that I am in tune with that particular part of my culture and my ethnic background. So I don't even try to fake the funk. You don't hear me, talk about Nigerian American or whatever it may be. You don't hear me talking about Sierra Leone and African American or American or whatnot. I'm not gonna sit there and fake the funk because I can't. And that's kind of what I feel when you deal with some, people who classify themselves as Filipino. They kind of make it seem like they represent, but they don't necessarily represent. And the reason that is because they really haven't been able to identify with their own culture. So back to the topic at hand, when this gentleman was saying that all women are alike, as long as they identify or classify as, pretty much all these women are alike, that's a faux pas. And that is actually a false statement. Because just because you classify as a Filipino don't mean that you are inherently Filipina. I know a lot of Filipinas who operate under a Western mentality. What can you do for me? Right? We know those terms. We know those terms when we hear them, man. Oh, what are you gonna do for me? Shit sounds a lot like some things you hear in the West. What are you bringing to the table? Sounds a lot like what you hear in the West. What are you gonna do for me? Are you gonna take care of me? It is that and the other. Sounds a lot like some Westernized mentality shift. And you'll have a lot of Filipinas who have adopted a Western mentality or a Western way. Even if you weren't born in the United States, but you moved when you were really young, and then you travel all the way to the United States when you're young, and you grow up in the culture, ladies and gentlemen, there's no way for me to slice it. You're a Filipino with a Westernized mentality. Even if you're not Filipino American, you're a Filipino with a Westernized mentality, right? Quite opposite from the ones that you actually see when you're actually in country. Quite the opposite of the young ladies that you interact with when you're there. You start to see a stark difference, very big difference in the way that they handle themselves in the Philippines as opposed to how they handle themselves in a place like the United States. And it starts to open your eyes a whole lot more. So when you hear people making these generalizations about, well, you're Filipino, you classify as that's just what it is. No, 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 no. Yes, I'm African American. I classify as African American. Don't mean that I know African culture. So I'm not going to sit there and even try to fake the funk. Do I want to learn? Absolutely. Do I have a plan to learn about it when the time is right? But right now, your boy just going to recognize where he's from, recognize his background, recognize his culture, and live amongst that culture. Some people, I wouldn't even say that they're ashamed to be it, but sometimes it's just like they don't understand because like I said, depending on who you grew up around, depending on who you interacted with as a kid, depending on who you interacted as you grew up in your developmental years where things were really starting to come into fruition for yourself, chances are you're going to identify with that culture. If I grew up about a whole bunch of white people, if I grew around a whole bunch of white folk, chances are I'm probably going to adopt some ways that some people may seem to be a little bit on the white side. If I adopted a mentality and a way of people living in Asia, right? Y'all know I spent a lot of time in Asia. If I adopted the culture and mentality and Asian as a black man living in Asia, people are gonna be like, damn, you don't really act like us, you're not like us, you may look like us, but your vibe not like us. That's the exact same sentiment you're gonna get being a Filipino American or a Filipino raised in America, classified as a Filipino, but not necessarily authentically a Filipino because you don't necessarily know your culture from that regard. Is that your fault? Absolutely not. Right? This is not the blame game, ladies and gentlemen. This is not me pointing the finger saying it's your fault you don't know about your own culture. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes that does fall on the parents. Sometimes that shit does fall on the parents. It is up to your parents for the most part to raise you in the culture if you feel like that is the culture you need to learn about. If you are a Filipino that may have been born in the United States or came to the United States when you were younger, and your parents really didn't try to bring you up within your own culture, and all you ever knew at school was understanding that Westernized mentality, yes, you may look Filipino on the outside, but you're not Filipino on the inside. You feel me? Right? No different than if I grew up in the white culture. Yes, I may look black on the outside, but I may be white on the inside. You know what they call them? They call them Oreos. In a respectful light. You know what I'm saying? You may look the part, but you're not actually that. So when I say that, yes, your classification may be there, yes, your classification may be there. But on the flip side, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand just because you look the part don't necessarily mean that you're about that life, or it doesn't necessarily mean that that is who you are authentically. It's not your fault. It ain't a blame game situation. But when you have people making that same generalization, talking about, well, if you deal with a Filipina in the West or whatever, you go to the country, it's like dealing with the exact same girl. No, 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 not even close. I've dealt with women in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. I've dealt with Filipinas in the United States, and the ones that grew up in their culture, they know enough about it to keep along the same lines of people in their own home country. But if you grew up around the right people, if you grew up around the right environment, that westernized mentality will seep in, it will creep in, and it will take over. It will be like an infectious disease and a parasite that you cannot get rid of, right? Which leads me to the topic of conversation to an extent about why a lot of guys are scared to bring their women to the United States. Like, oh my God, I'm afraid my woman's going to change. I mean, they're going to start adopting these Western ways and all of that stuff. I hear that conversation. I hear that argument. I'm not necessarily against it, but I do have to say that the variable in that particular situation is the woman herself. You feel me? It's the woman herself that's going to make that determinant whether she's going to fall into the trap of getting caught up in the Western ways or if she's going to continue along the lines of what she culturally understands. Age also plays a major part in that. If you catch them at a young enough age, that Western mentality can really take over. But I kind of feel that that if your woman's years, maybe late 20s, 30s, I think that they're pretty much immersed in their culture to know that, depending on how you allow things to transpire, again, a lot of variables, they're pretty much at that stage in their life where they're like, okay, I know my culture, I know my people. Now I'm able to compare life in the United States versus life in the Philippines, and they'll start to realize exactly what you've probably been telling them, that the US ain't really all that great. Yes, it's a great opportunity for getting a job and stuff like that. But as far as everything else you got to deal with, it could be a lot. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people who deal with some seriously racist issues. And I'm not going to bring up race because it sucks. But let me tell you this. I've had a lot of Filipino friends who have told me that they've experienced a lot of, racial terms and slurs thrown at them as well. And when they start to realize that this place really ain't all that great, but it's great for what it has to offer, they start to realize that this may not be the culture that they want to actually immerse themselves in. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen, because the topic of conversation here is just because you classify as a Filipina, it doesn't necessarily make you actually a Filipino. Even though you classify as a Filipina by nationality, doesn't necessarily make you Filipina by culture. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 13 in the building, man. I appreciate all 13 of you guys coming through, showing love. You already know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a like. Make sure you caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. And wants it, it needs, most definitely has to have it. You guys want to support, please feel free to do so. But of course, I'm happy and blessed you choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Now you're on deck. Shout outs. My boy SML, what's going on with you, man? Zerv, I see you, man. It's been a minute. Chosen one. Anybody born in America is American. Anybody born in the Philippines is Filipino. It's simple. They can be Filipino descent, but they are still American. Exactly. Too many people try to separate the two, but where I have the issue, it's not necessarily with how these individuals particularly identify, but it has everything to do with how others are classifying them. Like I said, this dude in this particular video said, yo, it don't matter if you're dating a Filipino in the United States or a Filipino in the Philippines, Filipina in the Philippines, they're all the same. I said, what? Dating them is all the same. I said, have you ever been, like, I'm thinking to myself, have you ever been to the Philippines? Have you ever dealt with Filipinas in the Philippines, or are you only dated Americanized Filipinas? When you realize those are two stark differences, you'll start to understand, bro, that's not how this game plays. This is not how it goes. It's a completely different environment when you actually get to the country. Completely different environment, completely different setup, completely different. Yes, they may all, and I hate to say this because it sounds generalized, but I think in this particular situation I can say this. Yes, they may all look alike, aka the Americanized Filipina versus the Filipina in country, depending on how westernized they are. And maybe they put some blonde highlights in their hair, try to whiten themselves a little bit more than normal, try to get that chinita look, try to make themselves really look like they're about that life. Yeah, you might get a little bit of that more in the United States. But when you're actually in the Philippines, yes, y'all may look the part, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can actually play the part. Best way for me to put it. Shout out to my man Tim. What's going on with you, bro? Robert, what's good with you, man? My boy Mike, Mike's Philippines Journey. What's good with you, brother? My man Raw TV Rob, good to see you, brother. Wayne Johnson, appreciate y'all coming through, man, and showing love. But again, guys, I'm definitely interested to hear what you guys have to say. Have you guys ever experienced dating and or being around Filipinos or Filipinas in general in the United States versus being around the ones in the Philippines? And have you been able to see that stark difference? Have you been able to experience what I'm trying to basically reiterate in this particular live stream? Or do you kind of feel like, man, it don't matter where they are, man, they all alike? Because if you do feel that way, I am definitely interested to understand these sentiments as to why you feel they are that way. All right, my man Frank says no, they ain't. He said I wouldn't touch a Philippine in the U.S. with a 10-foot pole player. You ain't lying, bro. You is not lying. You not, because my dad taught me something a long time ago, and this applies to life in general. Let me tell you something. My father told me. This is truth. This is truth, and this could help. This could help you and hurt you in so many different ways depending on how you play. But my father always told me, he was like, son, how you start the relationship or how you start a relationship with a Filipino or a woman in general, you have to keep that same energy. If you get soft, they'll take advantage of you. If you start out soft but then try to get hard on them, pause. If you start out soft and try to get hard on them, it's not going to work because the energy you start with, ladies and gentlemen, is the energy that you have to keep. If you don't keep that same energy, you're going to end up dealing with a woman that's going to try their best to run all over you. If you give them everything that they want in the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? They're going to have that expectation that you're going to continue to give, right? Or if you not necessarily be hard on them, but if you're stern with them and you're good with saying no and you're good with putting them in line and you're good at checking the behavior at the door, best way for me to put it. If you're good at checking the behavior at the door, I don't care if you're a Filipino born in the United States or a Filipino born in the Philippines, that shit across the board will help you out. Personally, I don't think it's worth it to even try to deal with an Americanized, westernized Filipina because I'm telling you, trying to overturn what the country has told them they have been gifted and given rights to, or whatever it may be, ain't gonna help you out in any shape or form. Any way, shape, or form of fashion, ladies and gentlemen, it's not gonna help you because they already know what they're entitled to. Right? They already know what they're entitled to, which i.e. leads to entitlement, things that we do not need. But when you go to a place like the Philippines, and personally, the way I see it, Philippines is a patriarchal kind of country where the man leads. I feel that. In the United States, you may feel that way, but it kind of feels like a lot more rights are given to the women than they are to the men. I feel like it's somewhat the opposite in the Philippines to an extent. I believe we definitely are able to, how can I say this? I'm trying to get my words right, but we are definitely able to lead without being challenged at every turn about how we lead. You know, I feel that shit all the time. I feel like in the United States, sometimes when you date certain types of women, it's almost like it's a competition. I heard this from Chris Rock. He was like, "Look, man, it seems as though marriage and being together with a Filipino or something like that, whatever it may be, it seems like it's always a competition to see who can outdo each other. It's not so much about celebrating each other's successes. So if you happen to date a woman, hypothetically, that makes more money than you, and I've had this conversation with guys before, and we've talked about this before." But if you find a woman that makes more money than you, or you date a woman who does extremely well for themselves, it's kind of like, well, now you feel somewhat inadequate. Not all the time, but you may have that feeling of inadequacy. As opposed to being like, damn right, my girl's making it, my girl's killing it, whatever. It seems as though she kind of may even look down upon you if she makes more money than you as well. In the Philippines, for some god awful reason, guys do not why, but have some Filipinas that take care of some bum ass dudes. Granted, their salary may not be millions of pesos or whatever it may be, but they be dealing with some bum ass dudes. You seen it. They be taking care of Fernando and taking care of, some broke dude who can't get a job, and they're doing it and they're taking care of it and they're still respecting this man. As far as I know, like some of them, not all of them, but they're still respecting him to the point where they're bringing a check home to him and, taking care of him and providing for him. And they usually do it without question. I don't know if you consider that blind loyalty or if you would consider that just a woman doing what she's supposed to do, taking care of the man, taking care of family. But ideally, the same rules do not apply in each country, i.e., in conclusion, those same rules do not apply, right? The rules that are seemingly standard or expected in the United States versus the rules and standards that are expected in the Philippines, two different things. You know what I mean? It's just the way I feel. He said, yes, they are definitely both different. Maybe the way I view the differences and the way you view those differences are two different differences. But at the end of the day, I think that we can come to a generalized conclusion that, you can expect to deal with these women the exact same way, which is why I told them people in a video that you can expect to have certain levels of game and pickup artistry or whatever it may be translate. I'm not saying that none of it translate. I'm just saying you can expect to have a templated version that you use in the United States and bring it to the Philippines and expect it to work across the board. All right. Tim A says, yo, Doc, check. He said the chick I know, sorry. When I first met her 2 months after moving from the Philippines is completely different. 5 years after now, class prejudice. Yes, you're right. I understand. Sometimes that energy fucks up everything. And I understand where you're coming from. Sometimes women that you meet when they first touch down versus after spending enough time in the country, it can completely dilute everything that is Filipinas. The women that you would date in the Philippines, I'm sorry, the women that you would date in the United States that are classified as Filipina, to me, they're nothing more than a watered down version. I said this before, I'll say it again. The Filipinas that you date in the United States are nothing more than a watered down version of Filipinas, unless you catch them before they have a chance to be, how can I say this? To be tainted. There you go. Unless you catch them before they're tainted, you're only dealing with a watered down version of what a Filipina should be. And that's shameful. I don't know about you, but if I'm gonna date a watered down, tainted, westernized version of a Filipina, I might as well have stayed my black ass in the United States and dealt with an Americanized woman, dealt with an American woman. Because yes, you may look the part, but you still gonna give me the same energy I'm trying to avoid at all costs. Why the fuck I want to do that for? Rid of me that, Batman. Why in the hell would I want to do that for? Why would I want to expose myself to dealing with a young lady that's nothing more than a watered down version of the actual woman that I know I deserve? Not necessarily just Filipinas, but women in general. I kind of feel like if they've been around long enough, there's just this ability to be tainted. Some of them have a strong enough mind not to be pressed by that, but then again, you do have a couple that you can't do nothing with. So why try to change it? Why even try to give in to that shit? It's the worst. Shit don't work all the time. My man says I wouldn't marry an Americanized Filipino. It would be the biggest mistake of your life. Mm. Yo, 18 in the building, guys. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you caress, molest, and stress yourself all over that like button. Wants it, needs it, most definitely has to have it. You want to support, please feel free to do so. Happy and blessed you choose to come through, spend some time with the boy today. But yeah, I wouldn't marry a Americanized Filipina at all. It wouldn't be worth my time, effort, and energy because, like I said, it would be like just dating a woman from the West. And if that's always been your issue, dating women in the with sorry, if that has always been your issue when dating women in the West, why in the world would you expose yourself to such hypocrisy? Right? Yeah, man. I'm dating this Filipina because she looked better than the women, but she still act the same. The fuck is that? Don't make no sense, bro. Don't make no sense. You feel me? Why would I date a woman just because she looked different but still act the same? Motherfucker for what? So gotta be careful with how you choose, right? Again, he said, my sister is a nurse in DC. She says all her coworkers are Filipino. By classification. I believe that. If they ain't speaking that broken English, or if they're speaking crystal clear English and talking about going to certain places and shit that you only hear from westernized women, chances are they have been tainted. Some women are able to hold it down. I'm not going to sit there and lie to you. Some of them are able to hold it down. And I kind of feel like you're only going to get that in the older ones. The younger ones, that neediness to fit in because they're different, oh, that's going to fuck everything up, guys. That's why when I tell people, and people hate me when I say this, don't bring no young Filipina back to the United States. I mean that shit. Don't bring them back young. Your girl got to have a steady head on her shoulder. She's got to be able to think for herself because all she's going to try to do is fit in. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got no family, nobody she knows, unless she can find a Filipino community to immerse herself in. And sometimes that's not present in every area that you live in. Unless she finds that, she going to end up just being alone and she's going to end up trying to appease the people that are around her, i.e., probably the wrong crowd of people. And guess what? They're going to be in her ear, probably saying some real slick shit like, girl, you can find somebody better than him, find somebody that look better than him. And if baby girl ain't got a strong shoulder on, strong head on her shoulders, she going to start believing that shit. She gonna start hearing that shit. She gonna start really believing it. Again, this is one of the reasons why you have a lot of guys who are scared as fuck to bring their girl back to the United States because they don't want this and they don't need this. But then again, it comes with the territory, ladies and gentlemen, if you choose to make that decision. But I want you to understand this. All right. You can classify as Filipina all day long, but that don't necessarily make you a Filipino, in my opinion. I'm talking about the authentic brand, Filipino. Right? It don't necessarily make it, don't transition, y'all. Trust me. I've been about that life for a long time, man. Shout out to my boy Lamont Taylor. He says, I know in Matrix females have a lot more control and guys have less rights. Yes. Outside of that, in the Philippines, I do believe it is patriarchal. I believe that's the proper word I'm using. If I'm using it wrong, you can correct me. But I believe it is a male dominant place. Yes, females do have more job opportunities, but I do believe that the women understand the man's role in the house and they're willing to play their part, regardless whether they have a job or not. They're going to take care of their man because they grew up knowing and understanding and probably seeing, not in all cases, but probably seeing that a man and I'm sorry, that the woman is supposed to take care of the man. Hopefully they have an upbringing with a mother and father wherein they saw mother doing everything that she could to make sure father was good. Father going out there getting it in, doing what he had to do. Sometimes mom was getting it in, but yet and still mom was coming home doing her thing and make sure the household was in check, even still taking care of the father. It sounds crazy that that's a lot of responsibility put on a woman, but when you're growing up like that and you see that shit and you believe in that shit, you know that shit's for real. Complete difference than how you see a lot of relationships in the United States. Divorce, parents separated, baby mamas, baby daddies, all that shit. And if that's the environment in which you grow up in, and that's the environment in which you know, ladies and gentlemen, that is not going to breed positive relationships in any capacity. Believe that. In the United States, most Filipinos with a westernized, they are nothing down versions of what a real Filipino is to me. I mean, it may be different to y'all, but to me, a westernized Filipino is a watered down version, so diluted to not even the bare essentials, to just looks alone, because attitude and everything don't necessarily translate, right? Yo, 17 in the building, y'all making sure y'all dropping them likes, man. Don't leave me hanging, all right? They do become. There is a possibility they can become westernized. He says, I just categorize Filipinos depending on their FOBness. If they were born and raised in the US, there are a few things to look for in their home. If their FOBness is high, then it's okay. Mike, you may need to describe to the audience what FOB stands for, just for clarification purposes. I don't want to misread it. So please, is is that the freight on board? I don't know, man. You gotta define that because I think some people may be confused about what that means. He says, my white friend in Tennessee told me to marry someone smarter and richer than me. That's what he did, and he's a stay-at-home dad and plays poker online. If I go back to the United States, oh, okay. Okay. If I go back, I'm gonna wait for you to finish that statement because I probably missed it. My man Mike says it's too late. Even local penals are in a way westernized. The problem in the Philippines is a lot of women have the fake type of westernization, which is dangerous. You're gonna come across that in the Philippines, but I do believe there is still a better chance at catching it, dealing with it, whether you want to deal with it or not, and ridding yourself of it than you would have in the United States, where there is nothing else to compare themselves to than other westernized individuals. Mm. But there is a little culture in there that's really manifesting itself in a way that's very, very dangerous. He said, "Man, in the PI, I'm pulling seven, eights, and nines. Come back to the majors of Filipino. That's that's five. Looking me up and down like I'm chopped liver. Yeah, yeah. That's when you realize, ladies and gentlemen, the I call it causation. That's when you realize that things don't necessarily translate well from the Philippines to the United States. Sometimes you be having these busted ass women, like I said, looking at you like you ain't shit. Like, are you serious right now? My guy, if I wanted to pull some baddies right now, I could do it. And you know what? You bring up a hella good point, bro. When you start see this is interesting because when you start dealing with women and you start seeing the looks that you get from women, you start seeing the looks that you get from females when you're overseas, and you're starting to look at the types of women you're getting looks from versus the types of women you're getting looks from in the United States. You start to realize, God damn, man, I'm getting way more looks from the baddest, I'm not saying just in your opinion, maybe the baddest woman in the country over there. But over here, people looking at me like I'm crazy, or they may look at you away, or the women that are looking at you, you may not find yourself attracted to at all. Then that's when the conversation starts. Oh, you must be gay because you ain't looking at me, or you don't want me. No, bitch, I don't want you because I know I can do better than you, right? Like, nobody wants to accept that fact. Nobody wants to accept the fact that a Filipino in the United States versus a Filipino that lives in the Philippines, again, two totally different things. and I could probably get a better looking female than you when I'm actually over there and deal with somebody who knows about themselves and their people and everything, as opposed to somebody who want to fake the funk, acting like they know what it is about their country, even though they're probably just a watered down version of what they should be. Not trying to talk down to anybody, but I'm just saying the energies are completely different. Right? And you do get shitted on by some ugly girls here. You only start to realize that when you've actually had a chance to visit, which is why I'm like one of the biggest advocates for getting your ass outside of the matrix and outside of the United States and just going abroad. I'm not even telling you to go to the Philippines, man. Just go where you feel the most comfort. I just happen to believe that's the Philippines for me. What it is for you ain't got nothing to do with me. But I will tell you this: when you start dealing with some women that you kind of find to be really really attractive, in your own opinion, and then you come back home and you start to realize that the women that you thought were attractive, butt ass ugly, then your eyes really start to open up, ladies and gentlemen. And when that reality sets in, and you realize that you've been wasting all that time dealing with these weird ass westernized women, you might cry a little bit because you feel like you've been wasting so much time, so much energy dealing with the wrong type of women when the women that you wanted all along was a couple hundred thousand miles, no, not a couple hundred thousand miles, but a couple miles, couple thousand miles the other direction. Which is why you see a lot of brothers choosing to travel abroad. Another story for another day. All right. My man CJ, what's good? He said, might as well burn your passport if you're still going to deal with Americanized woman. Yeah, you might as well stay with a OUI. CJ, I agree 100%. He said, I'd find me one in the province of Davao. Good old Davao City. Shout out to all my brother, my Davaoians out there. Y'all see, Doc has been one of the biggest advocates from that two of Davao since day one. I still will always be Davao's biggest advocate. I am the unofficial ambassador of the city. They just ain't paying me for it yet. That's why I'm unofficial. But when they start making, when they start sending them checks that way and they start putting me in the promotional videos and shit, you're gonna see my black ass face on there. I mean, I may not fit the bill. Like, they might want somebody white, but fuck it, this is what you stuck with, right? This $1 million smile, shit, I sell a whole bunch of tickets, bro. Mm, not gonna be over there for Aral ng Davao, the day of Davao, and Kariya, one of the festivals and shit. It's gonna be the face you see right here, buddy. Mark my words. Eventually, they're gonna have to make me that. They're gonna have to make me the official foreign ambassador. And that shit. Jesse, what's good? He says, I will just. I said I will just get her into the group I'm in, so she doesn't fall for the American BS. True that. I do believe that a foreigner needs to keep their Filipino busy. And they also need to get them, like I said, if that's a friend group that you're referring to, I agree 100%. You just need to get them around good people, people that you know aren't going to influence them in such a negative way, right? I like that. I am very much familiar with the Filipino community in my area. I do that for my own benefit. But if I'm going to bring my young lady here, she's definitely going to be introduced to her own. But the thing about my girl is she's like me, antisocial as hell in a good way though. Like, she don't really like being bothered. She doesn't mind being alone. She doesn't mind it just being me and her. She doesn't desire to really go out there and make friends. She's not out there on the front line trying to get people to pay her any type of attention. She's good with being alone. She's happy with it just being me and her, which is why me and her spend a lot of time by ourselves. And we've kind of grown up that way. Like, we don't go out, we don't socialize like that. We don't go out a lot. But again, if we do go out, we go out with our couple friends, right? And that's every now and again because our couple friends have lives. So for us, we don't mind being alone. And I think the same rules will apply for her, even if she came here to the States, right? Because she's not really pressed about being around and trying to get to know people and feeling alone and shit like that. And like I said, I'll do my best to make sure she stays active. You know what I'm saying? And she likes stock market trading too. So she'll find herself on a computer for hours just playing with stocks and stuff. So my girl has things to keep her busy, even if I had to leave the house and go to work. If that was the case, I'm just talking in hypothetical terms. So, like I said, if you want to get your girl involved in the right group of people to avoid that Americanized nonsense, yes, that is definitely a great, great, great thing to do for her. Get her involved with the right set of people. All right. My man Wayne, I'm gonna have to keep it 100, man. All right, yo, 17 in the building. Yo, drop that like for me. Again, likes are mandatory. Dislikes, if you want to say a dislike, that's mandatory as well. Like or dislike, mandatory. Support is optional. If you want to do it, please feel free to do so. But like I said, happy and blessed y'all come through and spend a little bit of time with me today on this beautiful, beautiful Friday evening. Cold, cold Friday evening in North Carolina. Telling you, man, it's cold as hell outside. That's why your boy got the thermal on right now. It's crazy. My man says, I won't take the vaccine, so she will need to come to me. Jesse, it's all good, bro. I'm not mad at you. I did take it. Like I said, I'm very transparent about it. I took it, got my second shot, and last month I got my booster for it too. So yeah, I've been shot up 3 times. Can't help it, man. And I did it somewhat for school, but I also did it because I knew that they were going to make this mandatory for me to travel. Sucks ass. But Jesse, I will say this, man. I want you to. I really feel like it's in your best interest to get there and know the person in their own element before you choose to bring them into your own. That's my only tip. I really feel like it's best to get to know them in their own element before you bring them into your own. I need to know my girl. Like I need to be around her for a period of time. I need to see how she acts when we're together. And if you've already done that and you already know you're good, but if you haven't yet, I kind of feel like just taking them out and then thrusting them into your own may not be the best of ideas at times. Like I said, it does depend on the female. If she got a strong mind and she's not easily manipulated by some of the nonsense that motherfuckers deal with here in the United States, then you good. But sometimes, man, sometimes you might want to think about knowing her in her element before you bring her into your own. That's the best way for me to put it. Yo, 21 in the building, bro. Appreciate y'all coming through, showing love, man. Yo, likes. That's all I ask for. Mandatory. My man says it's 35 to 55 good prospect age for a Filipina. Wayne Johnson, good question. I like the range, but it does depend on your age range as well. I kind of feel like if you're an older gentleman, 35 to 55 is not a bad choice. But again, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I like older women. I'm a cougar chaser. Don't give a fuck. I like older women. I don't know what it is. We've had that conversation before. I'm not going to do it again. But I'm okay with dealing with older women. Now, when I say deal with them, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'll be open and honest with that one, but they're fun to be around. I tell you that. I've been looking for me a sugar mama for a long time, bro. Doc been looking for a sugar mama for a long time. Ha! Hence the video I put out the other day, man. I thought that was funny. If my sugar mama gonna pay me 15 racks to do whatever she want, as long as she ain't looking for no butt, like she ain't playing around my booty hole or anything like that, I'm good, man. I can make that happen. Like I said, man, look, just keep it PG, love. Anyways, I digress. But 35, I often like that range because at that range, if you're looking for something serious from a relationship standard, 35, I do believe most of them are super serious. Again, anything can happen. Hate to blanket generalize, but I do believe at 35, they're serious. Like they're really looking for somebody. 55, they're looking. They don't really have time to play around like they used to because most of them at that time already got kids. And when I say kids, I mean kids, plural. You might be blessed and lucky if they only got one. You would be flabbergasted if they didn't have none, right? But there are some that don't have kids at that age, right? So it's up to you, man. But I like the age range because, especially if you're looking for something serious, I do believe that you have the higher probability of finding somebody serious in that particular age range. My man Derek, where my boy Derek? I need to holler at Derek on Facebook, man. That's my boy. I need to reach out to him, make sure everything's good. What my man Derek say? Give me a second. Falling back. He said Derek said they were trying. Oh no, they were trying to Jedi mind trick on his wife to turn her against him. Yeah, they be doing that bullshit, bro. Got to be careful, love. Got to be careful. He said if any one woman tells my Filipina anything bad, my sisters will step in and deal with it. Yeah, I got a group of young ladies around me in my circle that will definitely correct that behavior immediately. I tell everybody this. I'm the youngest in my immediate family. They don't play. The women in my life, they don't play. They will regulate that shit quick. My father, he don't play. That man's strict, he's stern. He's always one call away, one flight away. He one of them types. If I have to show up and regulate some shit just because, I will. But I kind of feel like, you being a man, you got to handle and regulate that shit on your own. But if there ever comes a time when you can't and you need that reinforcement, trust me, it's always good to have it. I know I got mine, and it's good that you got yours. Oh, the fresh off the boat. My bad, bro. I know I was getting old, man. Fresh off the boat. Yeah, that fresh off the boat mentality. If you catch them, I going back to your comment, trying to remember what it was off the top of my head. But yeah, fresh off the boat, if you catch them and they acting bougie with their nose in the air, that's an issue. But sometimes they still have that cultural connection, and I think that if you catch them early enough, you can still keep that same energy. He said some Filipinos are still virgins in their 30s. Very rare, but yes, you're 100% correct. You would be surprised at how many are virgins in that age range. It blows my mind. I never believe in. I'm sorry. It freaks me out to think that way, but there are some that still hold on to their V card in that age range. I'm sorry, ladies, if you're still a virgin in your 30s, I can't deal with you. But that's because I don't want to be the first to pop it. I can't be, unless you're gonna be my wife, and I already got a wife. So nah, I can't do it. He said you asking for trouble if you bring a Filipina back to the U.S., especially if she's fine. True, she would be getting her head gassed up left and right by these simps. Yeah, that's always like I said. There's always variables, man, and that's definitely one of them. These motherfuckers are thirsty. I ain't never seen more thirsty ass people in my life. You ain't never lie, man. That's always a variable. I can't really say anything against that one. Simp lives matter. That is nobody gives a fuck about a simp. But yes. Shout out to our man Red Man. Appreciate the 2 likes, bro. If you haven't dropped 1 like, let's get it. He said in the house another 0.0003 cents for this video. He said it all adds up. Yeah, man. If you guys were able to catch my social blade video, YouTube talking about your boy made $39. I know chosen one. You said, bro, I got to step up my game a little bit and do some extra shit. And I've been thinking about it, just been trying to figure out how to fit it in with the content. We'll figure it out, guys. I still got time. Most of your average channels, they blow up around year 5 anyways. And as long as you're consistent, you'll make it happen. Again, when I'm able to get back to traveling, that shouldn't be the reason. But I think we're going to definitely boost those numbers when we're actually able to travel, get it in, have some fun. But I'm perfectly comfortable talking to y'all real quick again. I tell y'all I do this shit for fun because YouTube money ain't good money for me, right? Just me. It works out for a lot of other people, but it's not always my coup de grace. But I will tell you this, though, ladies and gentlemen. Eventually, it all plays itself out. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'll take my 0.003 cents. Again, if y'all want to support, please feel free to do so because Doc is living on peanuts. We gasping on air and shit. Man, if YouTube was my life, man, I'd be eating Skyflake crackers every day of my life. That would be my dinner. Some Skyflakes crackers and some of that damn Eden cheese, man. And only if you've ever been to the Philippines do you know that Eden cheese. Eden. If you've ever had Eden cheese, that shit don't melt. That shit reminds me of some government cheese, like real talk. I ain't saying it to be disrespectful. I'm saying that to compare. I think that Eden cheese is the Philippines version of government cheese because it don't melt. Don't matter whether it's refrigerated or not. People be leaving that shit out on their shelves, and that shit still eat the same. It blows my mind. But yeah, man, if I would be on some Nissan noodles and some top ramen sky flakes, man. That would be my diet if I use my YouTube as my actual salary. Getting it in, man. Oh, Nicaragua, man. Shout out to you, bro. Sounds like a dope place. Let us know how it happened. Let us know what it's like out there. He said it is a group that wants good change in the country. Jesse, look, hey, I'm all for positivity, man. And if that group is gonna get their mind right and keep them in line, by all means, my brother, keep her mind on the right track in that regard. As save yourselves, black men. Rule number 1: never bring a foreign woman to the West. Yeah, and that's always going to be the number 1 rule for a lot of guys, right? Shout out my man King Arthur all the way from cool and sunny San Diego. Must be nice. He said, man, Davao is up there when it comes to the finest Filipinas. Must be something in the water. Do not talk about my Davao wingers like that, bro. They have a soft spot in my motherfucking heart. Something about a Davao girl, man. Y'all think I'm playing. But if you ain't never been, you'll never know. I'll say that one more time. If you ain't never been, you will never know. All right, but them Davao girls is something else. Y'all should check it out. Tell them the good doc sent you, even though they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck is you talking about?" They're like, "Tell them Dr. Mike TV sent you." They'll be like, "Who?" Like, damn, nigga, you ain't that popular. My bad. Jesse says, "I don't like being around too many people all the time either." Yeah, I'm antisocial as hell. I know it's crazy. Doc, you have a YouTube channel where you sit here and talk to your audience all the time, and you're antisocial? Yeah, because I'm in front of my computer talking to you guys on the internet, reaching countries that I never thought that I would reach ever. But like when it comes to hanging out with people, you won't see me in crowds. Maybe we do a one-off, one-on-one. We just kicking it, having a good time. That's different. Like what my boy Charles Merchant, my boy, I met Charles probably last month. Good times, man. Shout out to my brother. We had a great conversation. It was fun. It was, like I said, when I get out and I get out, I do. But most of the time, I just stick to myself because it's not fun to be out and about all the time. Like, damn, I don't need to be seen all the time. Let me just watch my Netflix and chill, but mostly by myself. Mm, I really don't like people that much, unfortunately. My man Tim says, "Hey, Dr. Mike," he said, "Fat billiards, quietest at the gym." But I'm coming. I said, I got to check it out. I missed that whole conversation. Maybe I misread that. My bad, bro. Know her language also. Yeah, plays a major part, guys. If you know her language, oh, trust me. Trust me. Them panties will melt off, y'all. I made the video. Nothing makes a Filipino wetter than when you can speak to them in their language. I mean that. I mean that. There's something about hearing a foreigner speak their language. Oh my God, he's so immersed in himself and our culture. He really wants to know how to talk to us and get to know us. Oh my God, he's handsome. Not to mention he's guapo. I kind of feel like knowing the language makes you a whole lot sexier in the Filipinos' eyes than you'll ever know. I'm not saying it's a requirement because they speak English, but those brownie points go a long way. And it also helps you when you feel like people are trying to take advantage of you. You just be the foreigner face, but they don't know you understand that you really understand what they're trying to say, or you really understand what it is that they're saying. It takes things to a whole nother level. It keeps people from taking advantage of you too, which is why I encourage it. Again, it's not mandatory, but I do encourage it. Plus, I have video games for her to play. If baby girl like video games like my girl does, definitely that hits the spot. All right, that definitely hits the spot. My man, oh, know your language. I'm sorry. Let me go going. He says, I believe in Western culture, they will pick the mindset with social media. Well, the Philippines is definitely a high usage country of social media platforms. They're big on Facebook. They have a big ass community on Instagram. They got a huge community on Twitter. Like Philippines, I thought they were the most social media friendly country in the world. Are they the one with the most dominant presence in social media? I still believe that to be true based on how big the country is and their influence online is crazy. Best way for me to put it. But social media definitely plays a major part in the influence of most Filipinos. He said, I believe what's. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. He said, got my booster today as well, Doc. Hey, man, I ain't gonna cat, man. Like I said, I got all three, man. I got the 2 shots that were mandatory by Pfizer, and I got my booster. Hey, sue me. Like I said, I will never judge a man for not wanting to get the shot. It's okay. If you don't want to get the jab, don't get it. Right? I ain't gonna never be mad at you for that. I want you to live your best life. I want you to be all right. If you don't need that shot, don't get it. But if you're like me and you know that this is what it takes for you to be able to travel, you're like, fuck it, it don't really bother you now, you do that. All right. My man said they got the COVID pill now. Ah, shit. Yo, chosen one, you have to explain to me this Let's Go Brandon shit because I see it often and I'm out of tune with social media. I only come on here to talk to y'all, do that extra shit, and that's it. Y'all got to explain to me this Let's Go Brandon shit. It's a movement because I see that shit with people on stocks. Then I think there's a rapper. I think that's his name. I don't know. You got to fill me in on the inside joke of the Let's Go Brandon. That's my brother's older name. That's why I'm curious about it. But maybe y'all gotta let me know. He said there are prison camps in Australia for those that don't take their vaccine. Heard from a few people do research. Oh no, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. He said that's kind of your quietest kept gemstone. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. All right, no vaccine. There is no vaccine in the Philippines, or look, man, my girl got the shot over there recently, man. Jesse said, "I like to teach the younger women. Catch them at an age, my dude, wherein you can actually teach them. All right, catch them at an age where you can actually get them. You might be able to work out. But gentlemen, be careful, man. Them younger ones, man, they're easily influenced. The way that you're talking to them and teaching them, they can also learn negative ways from other people. Best way for me to put it. All right. Someone should create an orientation course for Filipinas being brought to your country for the guys that can't or are not good at it. Doc, he said you got to make that course. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that one. It could be fun. People gonna look at me like I'm crazy, but it could be fun. Hey man, say less. Let's do that. I might need some collaborative efforts because I know enough, but I don't know it all. So I'm definitely gonna need to field some ideas of what could be exponentially important in that particular course of things that I think I should be there. He said, "Don't flash your diamonds. Definitely keep your shit low key, man." My girl, she likes to wear foundation and shit, but when she gets it together, she gets it together. Feel me? But it's not always the case though. You gotta be careful with how you choose to deal with your young lady. JH, what's good with you, man? I've been waiting for Anchor to fall. Not yet. I don't think I'm in ACH. What is ACH? I need to look into that one. That's not one that I'm familiar with. Definitely holding on to my Shiba Inu coins. Got in early enough, so I'm chilling. Before I get in, let me digress. Let me divert just a little bit. I did hear about that dude who made $1 billion on an $8,000 investment in Shiba Inu early on. I think my man just cashed out his. I think he cashed out 2.7 billion or like 40 trillion coins. They told me that recently. I'm like, huh, that man looking to cash out, but damn, that's a lot of money. But yeah, I've been following that story. Dude invested $8,000 early in Shiba Inu, and now is a fucking billionaire. Can you believe that? That's crazy. But Anchor still waiting for it to drop. I think it's holding steady at 13. We'll see. He said a woman has to be half my age. When I'm 62, she can't be older than 31. Hey, I like your rule of thumb, sir. I enjoy your rule of thumb. I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that be. He said, so Dr. Mike, he said your side piece will be from the senior citizen. Yo, man, do not judge me, man, because I like me older chicks, bro. Don't judge me. Shit. No, she won't be a senior citizen, but I kind of feel like when I'm older in age, like when I'm like 50 or 60 or something like that, I probably deal extensively with younger women. Except the mean one. Again, we're 3 years difference. So me and her, as we age together, and we're gonna grow and be one big happy motherfucking family and all that good shit. Oh no, my side piece gonna probably be younger. That's a joke. Don't go out there telling her that shit because she ain't about to kill me today. Look, man, don't get killed before you actually get the side piece, bro. You gotta build up to that shit. Mm. But yeah, man, no, she's not gonna be from the senior citizen home. But I will tell you this though: if you like 40, 50, 60 years of age, and you keep your shit together, oh, bet your ass, man. You gonna get some looks from me, man. I ain't capping, man. I'm liking some older chicks, bro. Don't hate me for it. It's not all the time, but some of the time. Them older women need love too, Craig. Don't play. Don't knock them till you try 'em. That's all I'm gonna tell you. He said, one of my Filipino friends thinks I am in my 20s and I will be 50 in less than 4 years. Hold on to the youth for as long as you can, my brother. Hold on to your youth for as long as you can. People are shocked when I tell them how old I am. There's very few people who know how old I am. But, ladies and gentlemen, on November 17th, quick announcement, we're going to do my birthday live stream. I just want to come through and talk to y'all. It's going to be November 17th, which is a Wednesday. Want to come through and talk to y'all, celebrate my birthday with you, toast up, have some fun. I'm probably going to be drinking. So that live stream is not going to stay up because I may say some crazy shit. Might have some fun with it. But yeah, make sure you guys come through and check out the live stream, man. We're just going to have some fun. Talk, politic like we normally do on a regular day. It's just going to be my special day. So on November 17th, I turned 1 year older, ladies and gentlemen. And I would love for you guys to come through and celebrate. Just come through, drop a happy birthday, get the fuck out if you want to, man. But yeah, It'll be good to hear from my people because that's what I'm gonna be on for. Probably spend about an hour with you guys on a Wednesday night. I know y'all got things to do, but yeah, come holler at your boy on Wednesday, man, the 17th. But I digress. Don't be worried. Hey, man, hold on to that youth forever. A lot of people are very shocked when I tell them how old I am. So I'm gonna try to hold on to this right here. You feel me? This right here gonna be held on to for a long, long, long time. He said, "What age is old for?" He said, "What age for old Filipinas? 35 to 20 to 55." A lot of people consider Filipinas hitting the wall at 35. 35 is when people start to believe Filipinas have hit the wall. That's all I'm gonna say. My man Kang, what's good with you, brother? Appreciate you coming through. He said, I got a Filipino coming over in 2 hours. It's not 30 a.m. We in these streets more than sesame. I ain't even gonna fuck with you today, man. Enjoy yourself, sir. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself enough for the both of us, because Doc gotta sit here and I gotta live in my reality right now. And I'm cool with it, man, because I'm out here making this money. But I wish I was there though. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I wish I was there. He said, Doc, what is your thoughts on this? For my assessment, Filipinos over 30 nowadays have less body counts compared to the new 20-year-old peanuts. Great, great question. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I believe that to be accurate. The ones in their 30s, I kind of felt like if they're still single in their 30s or they don't have kids in their 30s, chances are they were more career oriented, family focused, and they just weren't actually in them streets like that. Not like nowadays with this new westernized mentality that has been mentioned to be very, very creepy in the Philippines, and it's creeping in and it's taking over. So yes, the 20-year-olds nowadays have some high body counts. Why? Especially if you come from a community where you ain't got shit to do. Like if you come from the lower socioeconomic class and you ain't going to school or dealing with college or anything like that, and you ain't got nothing else better to do, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be out there fucking, period. I learned that the easy way. Them young girls, man, if they ain't got nothing else better to do, they're gonna be out in them streets getting it in. Who's gonna tell them not to? They ain't got nothing else better to do. Some girls have actually started to smarten up a little bit, and they just show a couple titties online and get some money as a result of it. They're kind of getting into like doing TikTok videos and stuff and making money that way, and making YouTube videos, and getting on these social media platforms like where Ligo and Bigo and Tagged and all of that stuff, where guys will come through and support them. All they got to do is just sit there and look pretty. A lot of them are getting a little bit smarter in that regard. So I want to give some of them the benefit of the doubt, but I will say the body count is higher in 20-year-olds nowadays than they are in 30-year-olds, because a lot of 30-year-olds are career oriented and focused, because if they do come from those lower socioeconomic classes, chances are they are the primary breadwinners, and they just ain't got time to be out there in the streets getting it in. They really don't have the time to be out in the streets like that. But then again, like I said, if you're 30 with no kids and all that shit, I'm going to tell you right now, chances are you won't get dick down like you were supposed to. And that opens the door for somebody like me to change your life. I'm telling you, girl, this dick can change your life. That's what I tell them. I don't know if they believe it, but that's what I tell them. But you're right, though. I do believe the body count is lower in 30-year-olds nowadays than it is in 20-year-olds. And that's mind blowing to think that. But then again, we have to take into consideration if we're talking about from the foreigner perspective and even the Filipino perspective. I do believe that, 30-year-olds are, and I hate to say this out loud because I believe it sounds so bad when I say it, but I don't mean it when I say it. I just believe it to be true for society as a whole. 30-year-old is considered old. 35-year-old is considered old. So when you're considered old, even if a Filipino man, and I'm not saying this to talk shit, looking for them a side piece, they're not looking for no 30-year-old side piece, the 20-year-old piece. 20-year-olds are looking for the older men, somebody to support their lifestyle. From the foreign perspective, 30 is still considered old. I don't know why. So when you're talking about the 20-year-olds, they're getting a lot more looks, a lot more guys coming in. They can have a little bit more fun because they have a lot more access to men. Sounds crazy, but it's true. Then again, you have to take into consideration also the social media aspect of it all. They're out there in them streets like that. They're pretty much out there in them social media streets. You damn right, Davao City's on point, and I will say nothing less. He said in AC, they told me from day one, it's never your girl, it's only your turn. I understand that one. Mm. He said you don't like feeling closed in by people. I don't, man. I don't like feeling boxed in. I feel crazy. Oh, he's not wrong though. Cagayan de Odo got some baddies, but I like Davao because Davo's my home spot. But if you talk about the Mindanao region in general, that does include Cagayan and stuff like that. So, hey, work with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 25 in the building. I appreciate all 25 of y'all coming through, showing love to the good doc. Y'all know the rules. Make sure you caress, molest, and do stretch yourself all over that like button. It'll go into the needs and most definitely as the habit. If you guys want to support in any capacity, please feel free. But of course, the good doc is happy that you choose to come through, spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Now and then, all of my good shit, description area below, Patreons, Cash App, all the good shit. My ebooks, if you've never bought an ebook yet, you are severely lacking in these streets. That's some good shit. All of my shit should be in the description area below. Let's go ahead and get back to business as usual. My bad. Just had to get that out of the way. He said, you mean, Doc, you don't want to be like MKBHB with over 14 million subs? Of course I do. Bro, don't get it twisted, man. I want to be as big as I'm meant to be. You understand? I want to be as big as I'm meant to be because Doc is international. I'm global, bitch, and I got great appeal. I got the talent. That's not the problem. It ain't never been the problem. I want to be as big as I need to be, but I know that it's going to require me to do a little bit more than I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna take my time with that. I got to figure out what works for me because I never want to lose the integrity of the channel by trying to do something that I'm not or trying to be somebody I'm not. That's where I usually go wrong. You never want to lose the integrity of your channel trying to be somebody you're not, right? So I can compare myself to MKBHD. I think you're talking about Marcus Brownlee, right? That kid's awesome, but he's in the tech. Tech is a large field. Everybody's interested in tech. I think you're talking about Marcus Brownlee, but if you're not, correct me. But tech is a big field. We're talking about a young black kid who's trying to talk about time spent in the Philippines, more specifically traveling to the Philippines. I deal with a very niche audience, guys. My audience is small, right? But I have to work and digress and progress the way that I need to. If I'm going to transition, I got to make sure my transition is steady, but I also got to make sure that it's something that my audience is able to keep up with as well. I don't want to completely change my entire content to try to get more viewers and shit. I have to just be creative in my approach to certain things, right? I know what I need to do. You just got to give me a chance to really put it together, right? Because I want to make sure that it's done and that it's done the right way. If I don't do it the right way, man, I'm gonna find myself losing more people than I gain. Jesse, if you know some Tagalog, keep it pushing, bro. It'll definitely help you. Oscar, what's going on, man? This is Mike. Have you reached out to no. Oh, Jay, about his situation with Rose? Look, man, I wish that that was a different situation. I wish that it didn't play out online because that's nobody's business, right? That's my man's personal situation, and I respect the man's privacy. It's just unfortunate that it played out the way that it did, and I wish them nothing but the best. Because especially when there's kids involved and stuff like that, it's fucked up, right? So I believe everybody has a story and a side to tell. It is what it is. He'll speak his truth, she'll speak hers, and I guess it's up to you to choose who you believe in. But have I personally reached out to my brother? Not yet about it. I want to give him a chance to really handle that on his own and handle it the way he wants to, because I believe that everything that he's saying right now, if you check his community tabs, I've seen a couple of them, he's telling you exactly without going into detail about what exactly happened. So that's his thing. He said, I don't think he needs my help or expertise, man. Guys, I don't have kids. I can't really put myself in anybody's situation when you're dealing with a situation like that. So my man's handling it the way he feels best for him. And I wish my brother nothing but the best of luck, man. Because it sucks when shit like that has to play out in public. Like that's a private matter. It just sucks. Um I'm gonna say Mortal Kombat all the way. If you say, bro. Not me. K Dallas, man, I appreciate it, man. Goddamn, I'm late. Appreciate the support, bro. Just making it through the chats again, guys. I appreciate y'all locking in, man. He said you up to $4. Touche, my brother. Touche. I appreciate you. He says I feel you want Davao girls, but Mindanao is more my feeling. Cebuanos. Oh, But Mindanao is more of my feel, and Cebuanos only because they can get a man's bread, meaning they will take care of business when need to be. You do realize that Davao City is the Mindanao region. I think Cebu, isn't it the Visayas? Ask my boy Mike. I know Mike knows because I dead ass man. I never really cared for Cebu like that. I'll go to Cebu. I will deal with Cebu, but I can only deal with Cebu in bunches, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot spend my time there. I don't really fuck with Cebu like that. I got nothing but respect for Cebu, but Davao's home. I don't even fuck with Manila like that. Davao's home. Davao is the Mindanao region. I believe Cebu is the Visayas. Or is it the, yeah, it's the Visayas. Is it the Visayas? Ah, fuck. I don't know, man. Don't get me the line, man. Shout out to my man Charles. What's good with you, man? Appreciate you coming through. Shit, let me get to these comments, guys. You know your boy's late. I'm always late. Shit. Y'all deal with me. Y'all deal with me. Just work with me. All right. My man said his name is D's Nuts. What's up? He says, I don't trust the government doctors. I understand why you have that sentiment, sir. You be all right. Charles, I'm gonna keep talking for a little bit longer, brother. If you need me to keep you awake, you know I can talk for days, man. That's the crazy part. Oh, okay. It's a red hat zombie way to say fuck Joe Biden. Mm, okay, that's why I was hearing. That's why people kept saying that under my Trump video. Like, what the fuck is Let's Go Brandon? I'm sorry. I'm dumb. Work with me. He said it's just dumb as saying "Make America Great Again." I got you. I'm understand now. I get it. Thank you, because I had no idea what "Let's Go Brandon" means. I had no idea where that energy came from, and I didn't Google it. I could have, but I'd rather ask you guys, man. What's the best age to date older Filipinas? I would say I like 30 and 40, between 30 and 40. 35 is ideal. I don't know what it is about the age of 35. I think that's probably about the oldest that a lot of foreigners are willing to get, no matter how old they are. 35 is about the age range that really hits a little different, right? So I like 35 as the top end oldest, but again, there's nothing wrong with dating one older than 35. I just think that depending on your age, how you feel, 35 is ideal. He says, I was around the virus and I was okay. My immune system is very strong. I felt the same about my own. I really did. I still got it though. I mean, I know, call me a mindless follower of the masses and all that shit. I didn't get it because I was scared of it. I just got it because them bitches won't gonna let me travel. I knew that. That's literally the only reason why I got it. Sue me. I can't help it. My man says 30 to 35 for me. He said if you want a serious one, there you go. 35 seems to be that shit. 35 seem to be that shit. My man says I don't drink water at a 9.5 pH to boost my system. No, you drink water at a pH balance of 9.5. Touche. I want a Filipino that can have babies. So you want to date them young. Okay. He said, I'm looking for something that reverses eight. I'm looking into something that reverses aging up to 20 years. I hope that works out for you, brother. I truly do. Appreciate the early birthday greeting, man. He says, everyone keep your clothes on. He said, I will have a Filipino climbing the wall. Unless, shout out to my man JD, he said, unless they are from the big city and middle class or higher, wall hitting comes maybe a little younger than 35. Touche. You believe? You think he come? I think he could come at about 30, but 35 seems to be that age where everybody like, she hit the wall, bitch. It's kind of what I've been hearing. Oh, definitely, man. If you're not a Scorpio, I can't fuck with you. I'm sorry. That's truth. And the truth shall set you free. Mm. Tony, I always knew there was a reason we got along, man. Even without knowing each other on a personal basis, I always felt there was a reason we got along. I think that's it. When you share that Scorpio love, like that Scorpio shit, you vibe well. You get that vibe. Again, it don't always work out, but for the most part, you get a good sense of people. You know, when you live that Scorpio life, man. There's too many of them. But facts. I fucks with my people. He said, I'm not smashing a Filipino over 40. I like him 25 to 38. 38's the limit, huh? 2 years difference. 38's the difference. He gonna be like, you might look fine as hell, but you're 40, love, and I can't do 40. I made a personal promise to myself that I would fuck a Filipina that was 40 years of age. Bro, you can't say that. Well, you can't say that because you have every right to have you know, your own preferences and things like that. But it feels fucked up that you stop your age at 38. 2 years different, man. Touche, man. Maybe you could teach me some good shit about health, man. I need to get my shit together. I'm trying to do a cleanse right now, trying to be my best version of myself when the next year come around, when it start getting hot. So yeah, I'm hibernating now because it's starting to get cold here in the great state of North Kakalaki. But you know, try. I should definitely be looking to get myself into some health, like really get healthy, not necessarily just get in shape because that's not a hard thing to do. But I want to be He said, the only thing I want is old money. He said, I've been cursed to look younger than my younger brothers, but the women my age are busted. Look, man, hold on to youth for as long as you can. This look right here, I'm trying to hold on to that shit for life. I want to look like I'm in my 30s when I'm in my 60s. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where I want to be at. I want to be that guy. He said, garlic. Oh, hell no. Garlic honey tea? Shots in the morning and the night before bed. Garlic honey tea, bro. Damn, you couldn't say ginger? It's got to be garlic? Ugh. I love garlic, but never thought that combination would rock. But if it keeps your boy looking right, hey, I'll work with it. I do not. Jesse, please explain. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a superfood. Okay. He said I have to take a look into that superfoods and things nutritionists claim are, but I'll definitely look into it. Oh, if I can find that type of store, go for it. I'm gonna look into it, man. He said I have a website. Oh, that's the name of your website. I'll check it out, man. Oh, Marcus Brownlee. Yeah, that's my boy. I love Marcus. Marcus the shit, bro. Charles, stay up on them streets, bro. Stay up in them streets. A low pH water is key. I never really thought about it, but I'll definitely take that into consideration. Shout out to my man Jerome. What's going on with you, brother? All the way from Kentucky. Appreciate you locking in. Yo, man, I've been trying to put together the Dr. Mike TV tour for a long time, man, but I ain't gonna half-ass it. If I can't do it the way that I want to, ain't no point in doing it. So I gotta wait for the world to open itself back up before I go hard for that one. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have been wanting to create the Dr. Mike TV tour for like so long, but I'm not even about to waste your time if I can't really show you guys some really legit places. So again, it could be something that could happen. Maybe not. It just depends. It would be fun. It would just be fun to link up with you guys, even if you do find yourself in the Davao region whenever we actually get a chance to travel. Just look me up. I'm not hard to find. Just ask them, where can you find that bald black guy? They'll point you in the right direction. 35 is probably the top age for having kids. I don't know if I would want to try to just push a kid out of a Filipina after 35. Over 40, the girls need to be from Brazil. Shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just reading the rest of these comments. 35 is too old for a Filipina unless she is going hard with a brother in the gym. If she's in the gym, that's what's up. I'm telling you, some Filipinas, man, they really do take care of themselves. I told you, man, if you want to find the sexiest older Filipinas, all you got to do is go to a Zumba class. I don't know what it is about Zumba, but them girls be out there in bunches, just dancing their little ass off. Just love them Zumba classes. I go to every Zumba class I can go to just to see who doing it. Be a lot of old, but sexy. Yeah, they ain't all sexy, but they be getting it in, man. I can't lie. Y'all gotta be out. You just follow the Zumba classes, and then just say, Doc, you were right. Whenever you actually get to see what I'm trying to put out there, man. Wayne, I appreciate it, bro. Take care, man. Take care of yourself. Um, y'all are talking about some shit I need to do some research on. We'll see about that one. My man said I could walk over 10 miles. I think my limit's like 3 to 5, bro. 3 to 5. I might be able to do that one, but I try to crank out at least one a day. It's been cold lately, so I ain't really been into it. But guys, if you got anything else you want to talk about, I'll be glad to have this conversation with you. earlier, guys, for those that are just coming into the building, we talked about the differences between dating, or I'm sorry, the differences between being classified as a Filipina and actually being a Filipina, i.e., you can be Filipino by nationality, but that doesn't necessarily make you Filipino by culture and upbringing. We talked about dealing with westernized women and dealing with westernized Filipinas and how that could really be a negative stain on any man's resume and passport and all that shit. Because don't necessarily bode well to date a woman that somewhat reminds you of women in your own home country. That defeats the purpose for you to date and or interact and be around women like that. But when you really, outside of identifying as Filipino, like when you actually get to date Filipinos in the Philippines, it does that's definitely change your outlook on the different types of women you choose to date. Changes your outlook on how you can see dating a Filipina in the Philippines versus dating a Filipina in the United States. Kind of gives you that overall perspective of, damn, been wasting my time. I don't know why I'm wasting my time, but I'm still wasting my time, you know, to even remotely deal with a woman with a westernized mentality. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, y'all are over here giving me some health tips that I need to look into, and I promise you that I will. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, unless you got anything else to talk about, I'm gonna let y'all go on about your business, man. I appreciate the love, appreciate the effort, appreciate the energy. You guys have been an awesome crowd tonight. Shout out to everybody who showed up. My brother K Dallas, appreciate you dropping a couple dollars on the Good Docs books. That's highly appreciated. Much love to all of you guys who showed up and showed out. Much love to all of the people in the background. You know I love y'all just as much. Don't get it twisted, man. If you're in the background just listening to the Good Doc politic and talk your shit, thank you very much. You don't know how beneficial you are to me in the long run. You don't know how beneficial you're going to be to me in the long run. And I'm going to need that support when I blow up. Because I'm going to eventually be famous, YouTube famous one day. Come back to this video and say, Doc said it, man. Doc said it. And even if I'm not, who gives a fuck, man? I'm happy with who I got. But we definitely going to aim higher for sure. All right. You got to want to be better than where you are right now. Right now, we're all progressing towards what could potentially be something epic. And I want you guys to be a part of it. Like I said, what we work on behind the scenes and trying to figure out how we can integrate and actually put together some content that doesn't stray too far from what we're doing right now. We get it in. All right. Charles, bruh, pimping. Watch some old videos, man. Go to the catalog. Man. Watch an older one that's another hour, pimping. I can't talk forever. I've been on for at least an hour and 35 right now, and I know y'all getting tired of me. All right. But much love to y'all, man. I appreciate the love and respect. I appreciate the energy, man. You guys make this fun for me, good, bad, or indifferent. Thank you for your time, effort, and energy. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. And eventually, I want all of us to be able to travel more down the road. It's going to take time, gentlemen. It's going to take time for us to be able to get to the point where the world is opening up again. I will leave you with this. I have been doing my research on the restrictions being loosened a little bit, and I am hearing great things, man. I am hearing fake things. I mean, not fake things, but great things. I was reading my boy Red's comment, but yeah, I have been hearing some great things about it, and we'll just see how it plays out, man. Definitely don't want no fake GMO Westernized Filipina. We don't want that watered down version. We don't need that shit. Don't pump them with them steroids, love. We want you just the way that you are, the all natural version. I feel you, my brother. I do, and I'm telling you, go to the Philippines and at least give yourself a chance to actually interact with one, and you'll realize wholeheartedly, motherfucker, I should have been here from the beginning. Because, like I said, the only time men cry is when they realize that they could have had something better. But they was dealing with the worst of a good community, dealing with the worst type of woman that represents a pretty decent community of women. But it is what it is. Yes, man, we almost famous, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't let the subscribers fool you, man. 5,000, I'm good with that. But we almost famous, love. We gonna make it happen. Y'all just wait, man. Y'all just wait. Cause y'all gonna look back at me and say, Doc, I can't believe you said that shit. And you was right. Might not be tomorrow, might not be the next day, but eventually Doc is gonna kill this shit. And I just want y'all to be able to say I knew this motherfucker when he wasn't famous. I'll be on TV, all kinds of shit. My man said a spaceship flying over the Philippines would be a big talk. Who fly? Who talk about spaceships over the Philippines? Who was ATQ? Somebody enlighten me. Somebody enlighten me who this particular person is, because I have no idea who you're talking about. Mm, I try, man. I put in that work every day. Good, bad, or indifferent, the boy gonna make it. But definitely, somebody explain to me who ATQ is before I get offline, because I need to know who this chick is y'all talking about. I probably won't go watch him, but I at least need to know a name before I leave, because I hate feeling on the outside of an inside conversation. It blows my mind. But yo, man, I appreciate y'all locking in. Appreciate y'all staying true. Appreciate y'all being around. We do what we do best. We have our fun. We do it. The Filipina twerk queen. Huh. Huh. Yeah, I think we need to close down right now so we can figure out who this young lady is. Hold on, let me go ahead and do a quick Google search while we're online. Is that her name is ATQ? I'm not gonna do it because I know what's gonna happen if I do it. But fuck it, man. Let's go. Let's see exactly what people are talking about. I'm not gonna put it up on the screen. I could, but let's see who this is because it sounds familiar, but you know me, man. I don't give a fuck. I'd be out and about. Oh, yeah. Now I know who you're talking about. Y'all need to stop. But she gonna earn. She earning them views, bro. She doing everything the right way. Anywho, I digress, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna let y'all have y'all fun with that one. Um, all I know is that Charles, you need to keep your eyes on the road, my brother. Don't be watching. Don't be watching. Don't be watching that channel, man, while you trying to drive, bro. Hit up some of them challenges, bro. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real. Sorry for wasting your time. Just wanted to see what everybody else was talking about. I hate being on the outside of an inside joke at my own channel. But I love you guys sincerely, man. Thank you for all of you guys listening in the background. I know you got things to do. I'm really letting you guys go right now. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the love. I might come through tomorrow, maybe not. It just depends. But I'm glad that I was able to spend a little bit of time with the people today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Please feel free to notify. Check out all of my good stuff in the description area below. I appreciate you. You guys are awesome. I have the best community in YouTube. Nobody can tell me otherwise. All right. And eventually that community will grow. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, the good doc is officially out. At least not go, which means I am going now. Bye bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Makita. Bye bye. Peace.